There he is.
Well.
We're
After
back
so
in
long.
Oscar's pub.
Yeah, boy. First time at home in a while.
Nice. How are we?
I'm good, mate. How are you? It feels like it's been I'm sure you're just about getting settled to normal life again, are you?
I am. Been home. What's today? Tuesday. Got back Friday morning. And now, yeah, just getting back to reality. I couldn't really start processing it being in Miami because we were still in like a foreign
Yeah.
environment. It still felt
Yeah.
like La Land, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
La La Land's LA, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? I'm not home, so you can't really start to unpack
Yeah.
it all. But oh
And
man, I can't even
and now it's been unpacked. How are we feeling?
hold on, speak.
I said now it's been unpacked. How are we feeling?
Oh, we I mean, oh, we're feeling terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific. Stressful last couple of weeks leading into it. Like my smartwatch hit 147.
Oh shit.
What's the peak? Yeah.
What at which period? What point in the fight?
I think during the walkout, it was like maybe during the fight or round one, it was like 120 something or high 120 somethings. And I think maybe the celebrations pushed it to
Okay, yeah.
140. But even like 120, like seven,
Yeah.
just watching a fight is pretty fucking high. That's
Well,
like me on the bike.
yeah. It's a miracle you're not dead.
Oh yeah, fucking.
It was,
Oh man, I can't
yeah.
even.
When obviously he knocked him out and stuff, even I stood up, was like, oh my God. And then like we have a seat and I just left the seat to like because I wanted more room to just sort of pace back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah,
Like, what
yeah,
the fuck?
yeah.
It was so crazy. Um, but it was cool. It's a cool moment. Cool, like
Oh yeah.
iconic.
Oh yeah, one of the best moments of my entire life. Like, and also the way because of how fast he turned it around too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
round one, I had him winning, but I wasn't happy with the round because of all the leg kicks that
Yeah.
Pereira was landing.
Yeah, he's very. I went back and rewatched it. Like, it's pretty remarkable he can land those so sort of quickly to the same spot on the calf without
Yeah.
and he doesn't. It's like he doesn't really set them up, but he's so got such long legs, he can sort of sneak them around the side before you can do anything about them. He's pretty really good with those.
But hold on, can you turn me down on your speakers? I think I heard myself just before.
It's because I'm deaf. What about now?
Test. Good.
Yeah, is that all right? But yes, pretty cool moment, and your brother certainly seems to be enjoying it based on social.
I mean,
He's
he's gonna be because normally he gets like his post-fight depression, even if he
okay.
wins. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you have a couple days, and he'll be like, yeah, what's next? But I don't think that post-fight depression is coming for a while, right?
Well, by
He's
the sound,
he's
yeah.
still like this.
I mean, in no way am I like, oh, he should walk away. But it's hard to imagine a scenario that's better than that. I'm sure there will be. Like that's something that Israel's very good at doing is creating these massive moments. But in terms of like long-term rival, everyone counting you out, to be able to predict that you're going to get the finish and be spectacular, to like just to do it all, put it together. I mean, that's a hard one to top. That's a pretty strong emotional
Oh
moment.
yeah, we have ones on top. I mean, the Whitaker ones, the Gastelum and Whitaker were good when talking about title fight wins. I
Yeah.
mean, they were great. I don't know. I mean, yeah, just
I
because
mean,
of the build up,
yeah, I'll also
everyone
say
counting him
like,
out.
yeah, I'll also say the thing I found like a really weird thing to be impressed by, but like obviously lots of these guys visualize how they're going to fight and what they're going to do if they win the fight. But you sort of would imagine that the adrenaline is so high that initially after the fight stops, you're just sort of crazy. So I could imagine if like he was thinking to himself, oh yeah, I want to shoot the arrows at him when he's unconscious. But you'd sort of think he'd like run around like, I wanted to do that thing. He's like,
He said
the moment.
he didn't plan any of that. It was just presence of mind,
Yeah.
going with the like what was happening in the fight or whatever moment came to him. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it was
The
special.
spirit bomb before, he said he was
Yeah.
gonna do that, and I put my hands up for it when he put his hands up. But everything
I mean,
after,
shout out Dan as well. I saw Dan down under fucking
yeah,
giving it.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, I can't
Yeah.
even. But like, yeah, like I said, round one, I was like, he won it, but I wasn't happy because of the damage he was taking. And then round two, because yeah, you saw the game plan was to be, in that mid range, be first, press forward, and don't let him, back you up.
Yeah, well, I'd picked up hints from all of you guys throughout fight week. No one said it expressly, but it was by the time fight night had come, it was pretty obvious to me that the strategy was going to be the aggressor and not let him come onto you. And so there were moments where, when Alex would start moving forward, Israel would go back, and then I would say, right now he's going to strike, and then basically as soon as he crossed the black line next to the cage, he would push back and move Alex back. And I think Alex did sort of go with the flow of that a little bit too much on his side.
And it would be more than one punch. It would be like a combination to get that pressure going backwards.
And he did. It worked. I saw it happen. He did about 3 or 4 times, and it worked each time. That he would get back and then just push forward, and Alex would go back. And then, then the ending sequence, is obviously now we've seen the training footage of Israel with his back to a wall and working on that in the danger zone range. But at the time, it did feel like, oh my God, is this the same as the 5th round of the last one? It felt like the visuals of that was there. So for that to be like the instant emotion, and then for Israel to suddenly land the punch and then the fight, it's just like.
Because watching it, like every additional calf kick Pereira landed, I was like, fuck. Especially the ones that buckled Izzy's legs a little bit towards the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, then watching Pereira, unload and Izzy shelling up and rolling with it and whatnot. I was like, no. And then when he, lands that first 1-2 and he goes back, I don't know. I saw him land it. And then I was like, okay, good. And then because the follow-up, which was also part of the game plan, was the second phase. When you land something, don't just, circle off, admire your work. You got to double up. The second one was so fast as well. And then Pereira goes down. And I'm like, watching it, I'm like, Pereira's down. And then he lands the hammer fist. And then I could hear the noise from the crowd. Like, I don't know. It was like slow-mo. A combination of like slow-mo, out of body, slow-mo, out of body, can't believe your eyes.
Yeah.
And then like the explosion after. But it happened like, so like, how when something happens, your brain slows a little down, but it's all like in like a couple of I was like,
for me, it was I mean, one has to admit their level of biases, right? Obviously, I'm a friend and a fan of Israel, so it's like I can't have to stop pretending that I'm unbiased about these things. But like, obviously, initially, I'm like, oh fuck, it's happening again, and then he landed. To be honest, from where I was sitting, I was right behind them.
Yeah.
So as soon as he landed, the 1-2 was so fast, he'd basically hit the second right before my brain had computed it, and then it just felt like. Before he'd even gone for the hammer fist, I was like, he's fucking knocked him out. I just couldn't, like, I was just remember being like, he's actually knocked him out. And then I just was like, holy shit. And then, because obviously, you got to be respectful as a media member. You can't really celebrate. So I would have had that reaction anyway, just for like, this is unbelievable what's just happened. Yeah. But I was just like standing there like, what the fuck? It was wild, bro.
It was
a fucking great. And then, what the one thing I really liked about it as well was this year, I think since Leon knocked Usman out, we've sort of been waiting for another like iconic moment, like a really like dramatic finish. I think that's the last one I can really remember that was like high profile.
What was the first pay-per-view of this year? Was it John?
No, that was Jamal versus Glover.
This year?
Brazil.
Oh, January. Yeah. That's right. And then it was... And then
Volkanovski Islam was obviously dramatic, but it didn't have that one moment,
Yeah.
And then John versus Cyril was kind of like almost surreal to see him do that to Cyril. And then this was like the big, like sudden one punch KO that I was just like, oh, like the release from the crowd is like when they're waiting for something crazy to happen. It happens. It's fucking wild. It's fucking great night. Really like one of my favorite events. Yeah.
Incredible. And I was really happy too, because this was the first time in I guess over a year where Izzy had a performance he was happy with, and then he also wanted to go back and watch it ASAP. Because we were watching it back at the Airbnb, and I think he was in his room, and maybe he heard the audio from it, and he came out straight away. Rewind it, play it back, play it back.
That's
And you know, like the Vittori and the Cannoneer, even though he won those ones, it wasn't even maybe I think Whitaker too, he watched it soon after. But those two, it wasn't like, you know, I want to go watch those back, you know, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, listen, I think it's been said now, but Israel's best performances are when guys come to have a go. You know, when they come to fight him, he'll meet the same energy. And
also when he feels like his back is against the wall and he's got, like, you know, a lot to prove and the chips on the shoulder.
Yeah, it was fucking cool. And apparently, according to Dana, we're doing it again very soon. I think it's in Australia is the plan.
August, September in Australia.
Either one of those two is. I've heard both of those. I've heard two things: August or September.
Yeah,
We'll see. Now, I'll say this: the amount of title shots Israel just gives to people who haven't deserved it yet is pretty remarkable. But I guess
this is true. Well, I guess who do we have?
Well, I guess Pereira's moving up. He's already
but he gave him a title shot. Didn't deserve.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I just mean like he gave Alex a title shot. Realistically, he probably never needed to rematch Rob, really. But then it's like fucking all you have to do is poke the race issue and you get right in there.
Bro, I hope this Dreykus fight is next. I
believe that's what I think that's probably what they'll have to. It's either him or Strickland, right? They can't do anyone else right now. So
yeah, because you need a moment for like a clear number one to rise to the top.
So if it's one of those two, it'll probably be Dreykus because Israel mentioned him. So that's just the natural.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not gonna say I love the build up already, but it's already it's getting dark quick.
Yeah. Well, even
which is what we love on this show. I mean, so what? Your team Dreykus?
What? I'm glad that listen. There's nothing.
We did have that segment we had to cut out from that other episode.
Yeah, look,
there's probably somewhere on this computer.
There's no colonization history around me, dude.
With your massive fucking Union Jack mug that's like bigger than your head.
Yeah, well, listen, we can't put any of this in anyway because I'm sure they don't want us like talking about a fight that might be next. But I obviously I'm really curious to see how Dreykus plays it because I don't think he's a particularly like smart guy. So I'm kind of wondering, like, is he going to?
They're already playing. You've already seen it. You've seen his coach say it too.
Yeah,
they've already started. They've already started. He's like, take that belt back to New Zealand. I'll be here in Africa, breathing out of my one nostril, gassing out as I type this message.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's redo this segment.
But will the UFC? They would. I wouldn't put anything past them. I mean, would they double down on the promo? Because I guess in the promo you can't put anything else but the race issues. Because that's what it all started with when Dreykus started saying that. But I feel like it could reach one of those things where like even sponsors could get in and be like, we don't want you talking about apartheid and shit, and then play. I think
if it was in South Africa, I think they would have to like ease off it. And I don't think you could do it in South Africa.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
It'd be too intense. But yeah, I mean, what would happen if Dreykus started just coming out wearing like traditional African clothing all the time and stuff? Like really leaned into it.
What, like traditional clothing that like
what Francis wears, you know, like stuff like that. Like if he wore like crazy
I mean,
it would be
nothing good.
It would be
nothing good would happen.
But it would be like the thing to do, right? If he's gonna fucking go there and try and be it.
What he already said was like more than enough. Because I mean,
clearly
the initial, but now they're doubling down. But I mean, it's like I'm just not cracking up, but like just thinking of what the trailer will be. Like, you know what I mean? All the sound bites. This is gonna be just fucking. They're playing footage from like. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, if you can see the like that's so when I first started like making fun of this, like it's because basically the initial thing he said was so absurd. You can just see the comedy in it. Like, what a crazy thing for a white South African to say. Like how Like that's so out of touch that you would say that. So that I found the absurdity in it, and like
There's a fight there. There's a fight there, and it's gonna sell because
yeah,
it's so outlandish. I mean,
especially in
it's
Australia.
so, it's so. There's a fight there.
Yeah, well, it's like
There's a
like
fight
said,
there.
they want if Israel wants to stay active, they got to give them the fights, and it's not their fault.
That's the
But
fight.
anyway, one
Hey,
day.
hey, what did I tell you about Yanez and Rob Font? You called me a casual. What did I say? What did I say?
Poor Adrian, huh?
What else did I get right? Holland. I was on fire. Our last breakdown. Holland. What else did I get?
Oh, I tell you what. Okay,
what did I get about Gilbert? What did I tell you? He was gonna mix it up because he knows he's close. He's gonna mix it the grappling. Hey,
that wasn't like a mad prediction.
I mean, it was.
I think people knew that was
going to
happen. Well,
I mean, kind of
apparently, did you see that it might be Gilbert and Bilal are like arguing on Twitter right now?
Yeah, so what happened to the Shavkat Bilal? Oh, did I hear Shavkat Kamaru?
I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I think they're trying to make Bilal versus Gilbert for the co-main event next month. And from the looks of things, Bilal said he can't make 170. He needs it to be a catch weight. So we'll see if Gilbert does that or not.
Bilal's a little thick boy. I saw him at the fighter hotel.
Yeah, so bit of a weird look though to be like I should get the title shot, and then it's like
I mean, you have to be able to make weight.
I don't. To be fair, he said something about it's because he's on Ramadan that he'll struggle to make the weight. And I don't really know
this is true. Yeah, this is true.
Like maybe he's not able to work out as hard as he would be. I don't know, but I'm sure they'll find a way to make it. But yes, you're right about Gilbert. You were very right about Rob. I'll give you that.
I mean, I'm one of the best analysts in the game, which is what you have to do. Is title me as.
Do you reckon?
I predict these things.
Instead of the uncrowned 45-pound champion, shall we just say you're the best analyst in the game? Luke Thomas, watch out.
Wait, speaking of reporters and analysts, are you the new John Morgan asking the questions first?
No, and
I've noticed.
I will when I fucking feel like asking the question, but like I really like some guys really put a lot of stock into like, oh, if John's not here, I'm going to go first. That'll prove I'm a big deal, and I don't think it does. I'd rather focus on the question than the position you ask it in. But also, but you know,
some
Dana
tension in the media room, eh?
Dana didn't love my question about Jorge and Kevin at the presser, did he? So I'm not quite.
Dana was being a little bit of a party pooper at the presser.
Yeah, some of us got it that day.
You guys did. But yeah, that is the aftermath of UFC 287 from my point of view. I mean, Izzy didn't sleep till like maybe he had like a 5-hour nap or 3-hour nap on the Sunday night at like 8 p.m. And then we went out after his nap to some dark corners of Miami, Florida.
I think I went to a few dark corners in Miami as well, man. Mentally and physically. Jesus. Yeah. Miami will get you. Miami will get you.
Hopefully we come to this Kai fight so we can have some more.
Yeah. So what's this?
Ventures into dark corners.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And then it'll be cool. Yeah, probably depends if he's in camp by then, but it'd be cool if we could all hang out without like worrying about a fight and stuff. You know?
Yeah, if he's fighting August, 8 weeks, August, September, July, so it has to be back by like start of July type thing.
Yeah, would you guys come here for Volk's fight and in July?
I mean, I think we're going to VCon, Gary V's thing. I'm not even sure how to. Yeah, I need to talk to Tim and try and get a lay of the land.
I guess it depends. There's probably like loads of moving parts right now. Huh?
Yeah. What else happened in 287? I guess we talked about. So Jorge retired.
Jorge retired. I think probably the right decision. I think it's fair to say that like he looked his age. You know, like he gassed pretty hard and
the grappling. Definitely.
Yeah, I think he's. I watched his interview with Ariel the day after or 2 days after, and he was pretty like very self-aware of his position and stuff. So I thought like that was pretty impressive. Whether he'll stay retired, I mean.
Plus, even if he didn't retire, who would you give him to fight?
If he had lost,
yeah.
I mean, then he becomes like a Nate guy that you try and give fun fights to, you know, probably. But it's Those fights are few and far between as well. Like, what are they going to do? Give him Hamzat? It's just,
Yeah, can't give him Hamza. Yeah. You'd have to give him like, yeah, because I feel like if you were giving him top 10, top 15 guys, those are just like hungry guys that.
yeah, and also at 170, he's kind of faced most of them. You'd
Yeah, this
have
is
to
true.
basically get him to fight like, well, you can maybe do Wonder Boy, that'd be all right, or but I don't know. There's not.
No, happy for him though. Happy for him.
Yeah,
Changed his
hey,
life, made millions, and
I
was
think
riding out.
I think if you are fair and you look at his record and stuff, like obviously there was a lot of split decisions there, but I think you could probably argue that he earned more money than maybe his ability would have suggested he was going to make. Do you know what I mean? Like I think his bet his
He had a good
29
run. He had a good run.
yeah, his 2019 was probably one of the best years any fighter's ever had. Like till Askren Nate, like that was a great year. It just changed his life completely and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, he's a perfect example to younger guys of like grabbing the opportunity when you get it. Like
That's
making the
crazy. I was
most
just thinking 2019 was Gastelum and Whitaker too. That's wild.
guess that, yeah, 2019 was.
4 years ago. I don't know where the time has gone.
I know. Yeah, I know.
4 years ago.
What did you make of Max yesterday or the other day?
Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely chip on the shoulder. As well as type your shit.
Yeah.
Type your shit.
I know.
Because in the build-up,
2
he was
weeks in a
saying
row.
how he was hearing. He was hearing all the chatter. Once he started saying that, you could tell you could sort of see that, he'd been hearing the bullshit and he was ready to make a statement.
It's funny, man, because he like you sometimes people in the media or fans underestimate how some of these guys can just see everything. Like obviously Max had just heard that his chin was going to go and Arnold was going to knock him
I
out.
don't really think I don't really think it's the articles itself. I think maybe it's more of the commentary that follows the articles.
Yeah.
It's not really the media, but it's like, the comments under the post, the comments under the, like, you know what I mean, type thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a MMA media and MMA journalism, which I use very loosely, is basically just like one long ecosystem of a conversation that basically some high profile person has a take and then the next person responds to that take and then the next person responds to that and it just like creates a cycle of news basically. And I think people like not necessarily create a narrative, but someone will see a narrative in their mind and then that becomes the narrative of the fight basically. So like, oh, Max lost to Alex, he's taken a lot of shots in his career. Arnold hits really hard. This is the fight.
And the fans can be vocal in like a negative way too.
For sure.
More often than positive. Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I really enjoyed. Oh my God. I would have spent a good 3 days, maybe even more, going on to everything, reading all the because in the build-up, like maybe 2 or 3 days before the fight, especially after press conference and whatnot, and everyone didn't understand the collar, and they're like, oh, I mean, shit that we had been seeing for the last few months and whatnot, but it all just ramped up because it was fight week time and whatnot, and you'd be looking at it, and it's just like, yeah, it gets to you a little bit, like, you know what I mean, because everyone's human, but it felt really good after the fight. To go back and be like, and on some, I replied like, to some old ones and be like, fucking hope you don't kill yourself. Like, to haters. My original plan was was for actually both fights, actually, part 1 and part 2, was to post in my story, shout out to all the haters on Suicide Watch tonight, and then post the suicide hotline number as my as a story post.
Well, some would argue that'd be insensitive, but
yeah, but I mean, clearer heads prevailed. But I did back to a couple of comments. But yeah, it felt nice to consume all that content, read the comments, and fucking
it's funny because yeah, okay.
And also after the last fight, immediately after the prior fight finished, people started tagging me and shit, like, while I was all like cage side. My phone already started going off with like fucking 3-0 and like running around, like, yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, it is a wild like story, that fight. Like that, the story of those two is funny. And I was not happy, but surprised almost that how quick Alex was like, yep, 205. Like he just didn't hesitate at all. The day after, he was like, I mean,
earlier in fight week, he put out that statement saying that he makes the weight easy and rah, and then Dana just came to throw him under the bus and said that in the final hour he still had 2 pounds to go. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, listen, I think I'll be fair to Alex for the rematch in Miami, the last one. He didn't need the curtain. In the one in New York, he did need the curtain, and the one in New York,
he looked physically in his face, not too.
He's really kind of strange, man. Because when he weighed in, when they face off at ceremonials, you're like, okay, he's big, but then when he gets in the cage on Fight Night, you are like, Jesus Christ! Like I remember when he got in the cage and was looking at Izzy, I was like, holy fuck! Like the guy's massive.
His head is huge.
Yeah,
and his fists. Like, I always see it like, I know why he puts his fucking fist up in the face off, and he's got that fucking big grenade, because his fist is just huge. Imagine just looking at that and being like, this shit's gonna be coming after me in like fucking a couple nights or something, like, you know what I mean?
I
like,
mean, he will be incredibly dangerous at 205.
And that's also why his calf kicks are very effective, even though he doesn't put much power into it. Like, the reason they were saying that his calf kicks were hard to read was because he has a square stance and he doesn't turn his hips and his torso, but his leg will probably just weigh so much. He hits it with that inside of the ankle, not even the foot. So all that is just throw the bone pretty much and cause damage. And his feet are big, his hands are big, his head's big. I mean,
penis is big.
Imagine it. This is big old Brazilian fucking dong. I wouldn't put it past him to have a fucking anaconda fucking size thing.
Maybe we can base the trilogy on that. That'll be the beef.
What if he fights his penis in the trilogy?
What? Sorry. I think he'll be a problem at 205 though. I think like he's like, because there's less like grapple heavy guys in the top of that division. I feel so. I think he'll be interesting up there. You know.
Well, who would you give him as his first fight at 205? Top 5 guy or top 10?
The winner of Johnny Walker, Anthony Smith.
Oh, that'd be a good fight. Yeah.
May 13th they fight. So do the winner of that.
Yeah, there's some big guys at 205 too.
Yeah, I mean, but I think like obviously if he doesn't have to think about 185, he'll probably fucking get way bigger too, you know. I bet him versus Johnny Walker would be fun, you know. That'll be a crazy fight. And I think
but then he'll be taking punches with 4-ounce glove from 205 pounders.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, look,
actually after a bad knockout like that too.
Yeah, but it's funny, like you look at the size of his head, you're like, I bet this guy can't get knocked out, but I guess he can.
Yeah, he can. Yeah, he can.
It'd be interesting. Did you bully his son as well, or did you just leave that to Izzy?
Did I bully his son? I mean, what did I do?
For the record,
I didn't bully, but backstage when we were walking past them, I did a big woo. I was fucking excited. I mean, what? I cried my ass out of the arena last time, so I can do whatever the fuck. And the world laughed at me. They all laughed at me. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Children annoy me, so I was happy to see it, regardless of the scenario.
Yeah. I mean, payback's a bitch. Payback's a bitch. Justice was served, okay?
Yeah.
Justice was fucking served.
I'm very happy for all of you.
Thank you. It was pretty cool. Thank you. Pretty cool. Even though you didn't believe and you had all these bullshit hypotheticals about Izzy and Kamaru fighting, and
I actually, if you go on the Mac Life channel, I did a live stream from cage side, and I said I think he's going to be aggressive. I think he's going to push forward to put Alex on the back foot, and that he's going to get the finish.
I saw Anik on fight day in the elevator of the fighter hotel. I think he was just coming up from his workout and whatnot. We hops in the elevator, and then we have a chat, and he's talking about Izzy's energy. Because normally, he goes dark and he goes into a fight mode, but I've never seen him this dialed in, this cold. And Anik was feeling all that from the fighter meetings and interactions that he's had. And Anik is like, he's gonna knock him the fuck out. So I really feel he's gonna knock him the fuck out. I'm like, that's the plan. That's the plan. He's gonna get it done early. And then we dapped up and he left. And that was the last I saw of Anik until I saw him backstage after the fight. But man, it was really something. Oh,
Yeah,
and
savor
yeah,
it, man. Savor it. These like
yeah,
moments are so special.
definitely. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time today.
No worries, buddy.
I'll
Good catch up.
see you next week. Hope you didn't catch anything in Kansas.